Hey everybody, this is Paul Acevedo. With me as often is Adam, also known as Zero.
Hello.
And also we have Tyler H. The H stands for Homeward Bound.
Oh,
My favorite movie of all time
Yes, and
about dogs.
as I understand it, you've been without a home for a little while and you're looking for a new one. So,
Indeed, and it's
wait.
actually also my favorite Paul Simon song.
Ooh, sure it's going to be an incredible journey.
Indeed.
The now loading image, that was the cover of the PC Engine version.
yeah.
So Royal Bob says he doesn't have issues with it. I wonder.
Yeah, well, I mean, you
Make sure
definitely did
cookies
a
are
couple of days
enabled. Do you have
ago.
to do something special with cookies? Because I mean, it's the only site I ever have issues like that with when it comes to logging in. Thank you, Brian. It has been an incredible journey.
It's pretty cool having a slide button.
Yep.
Okay, so I have lots of questions. So this
Okay.
game, the first time this game ever showed up was in
Oh.
arcades. Is that right?
So this is an arcade
Yeah.
game. This is from 1989, but he's playing it on PS1. But this is a port of the arcade 1989 arcade game.
Yeah.
Okay, and it was ported to many
Ow.
systems. Is that right?
It was ported to
No.
a ton of systems.
Not that many.
Yeah, lots of systems. In fact,
According to the thing I was reading, it looked like 7 or 8.
yeah, it was. I mean, there was a Master System version. There was a Commodore 64. There's a ZX Spectrum for those Europeans out there. There's a PC Engine version. Paul was just talking about that.
Yeah, but actual consoles, it was only Genesis and PC Engine, right? Because all
No,
those
there's a
others
ma-
are
there was-
computers.
there was
The
a
NES
Master
version
System.
doesn't count. Oh, Master System, you're right, sorry.
There was a Master System version.
Royal Bob says he uses IE. Maybe that's the issue, and it's
Oh.
definitely not something I'm going to do.
Yeah. My goodness. Look, I got
So-
the Robot Panther.
Spill the Beans is talking about the NES version. The NES version came out. It was actually developed at the same time when
Ooh.
Capcom decided to do the Strider thing. They envisioned a whole
Robot Hawk.
big mecha of
bigger
different
story.
things. You know, they had different games. They had
Ow.
they had comics, or maybe you would call them manga,
Manga.
whatever. And they had they were planning on.
He's super into his Strider history, but no problem mispronouncing other people's
Yeah.
favorite things.
I don't
That's
respect
right.
the culture, just the history.
That's right.
Anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
But the NES version was very different. It wasn't a port of the arcade game. It was, in a way, it was kind of a precursor to the 2014
Oh
Strider.
no, I
Like,
killed the
it's,
boss too fast.
It was Metroidvania in a way, which before Metroidvania was a thing, you know. But you used powers to get to different parts of the game and open up different parts of the level and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're right, Bob. It does have a closer view than the new one. Because one of the things that arcade games did is they would just show off their large sprites, you know, just as a way of being appealing compared to console games.
Interesting.
Right. And when this game came out, it was amazing.
Yes.
So I have to ask another question.
Sure.
So this came out. For what console did this come to first? Sega?
Yeah.
Genesis?
Yeah.
So
Well-
what year did Sega Genesis come out?
90. Uh-oh.
1990. That's right. Yeah. The Genesis version came out in 1990. It was the first. In fact, it was the first 8
Look, it's the
meg.
Robot Monkey.
Oh yeah, but everyone remembers the Robot Monkey. In fact, because most people die there.
Yep. Yeah, I turned the difficulty way too far down, it turns
Oh.
out. But that's okay. Ow.
What was I saying? Oh yeah,
Sega Genesis and Strider.
right. The Genesis.
First 8 megabit game, yep.
It was the first 8 megabit game, and when it came out, it was $80. So people are complaining about the price of games these days. They're not complaining too much because it was an $80 game.
Oh, I
That-
actually died.
It took you about you can beat it in about 30 minutes. So.
But it was hard, so you probably wouldn't your first try.
It was difficult,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. And people had different expectations about video games back then. Like the expectation that, the Genesis at the time was big on arcade ports. They had a lot of early arcade ports. They had this. They had
Dang.
Golden Axe, Altered Beast, Ghouls and Ghosts. Like those games early, kind of were. They were the games that kind of solidified the Genesis or Mega Drive as kind of the go-to place to get arcade ports, and they were
Yes.
really good arcade ports. And back in the day, the 16-bit era, that's kind of what you hung your hat on. Like, could you get people were chasing the arcade games, and could you get close to those arcade games on a home console?
Very true. And yeah, they usually didn't even attempt it. Like the NES versions were usually separate games.
You know,
As
and it
opposed
was
to-
smart. That was smart because they couldn't do it. Like, you know, you had to do something else because there's no way you could make anything resembling the arcade game with its, you know, huge sprites.
I don't know what happened. It's like the difficulty changed after I died that one time, because now I can't even beat the monkey. And we're on the lowest difficulty where the first boss died in like 2 hits. But I guess it's because I had the powered up sword. But I just got the powered up sword again. God, those stupid wolves.
I would have thought you had a lot of practice beating the monkey.
Didn't the NES version of Strider, which is a different game, come out before the Sega Genesis version? Is that right?
Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
And they're
They
both
were-
just called Strider, right?
Yeah,
How do you
although in
distinguish
Japan they are called Strider Hiryu.
Okay.
That's correct.
They just took Hiryu out because, you know, supposedly English people can't handle Japanese names.
I mean, they were made at the same time. It was a planned thing. We're gonna put our arcade game out. We're gonna put the NES game out. We're gonna put out our manga.
So almost
And-
like how Nintendo like puts out a 3DS and a
Yeah.
Wii U version of Sonic or whatever at
Yeah.
the same time that are like
Or if
called the same but kind of different.
right.
Yeah,
or
but
if you
these were
remember,
dramatically different.
if you remember Dead Space when that came out, the big plans they had for that. You know, they had a cartoon and they had comic books and they had the video games, obviously, and you know they were trying to turn that into a big multimedia kind of thing. And I think it's the same idea.
Okay.
But the one thing about Strider, though, is that unlike a lot of Capcom stuff that they do, they don't own Strider. Every time they make a Strider game, they license it from another company that did the artwork and the designs for it. So it's not their property. They are licensee of it.
Ah,
Huh, so they're probably not always, well, I mean, I don't know how much the license costs, but that's always an added factor when they're deciding whether or not to make another Strider, is the fact that they can't just make it without getting that license, paying for the license.
For sure it is, yeah. For sure it is. And it's they haven't had a ton of Strider games.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure. I would guess that this new one was fairly successful.
Oh.
It reviewed pretty well.
Yeah, I think I remember reading
Ow,
that
what do I
that it sold well, so
It hit at a really good time too. You know, I mean, had to be like one of the first dozen downloadable Xbox One titles within the first dozen when people were kind of, you know, looking for games, anything good to play. So
yeah, that would help for sure.
let
Here's
me
a
go ahead
flying
and
robot guy.
post this Sega Genesis Strider box real quick.
alright.
Oh, the Strider
Run,
Genesis
run,
Strider
run.
box, yeah.
This fast running part, this was kind of impressive back then. It was kind of like Sonic-like in the speed
Yeah,
of the
this is
running. It wasn't
this
even
is
that
a cool
fast, but...
This is a cool moment where you're going down the hill, all the explosions behind you.
Yeah, and I'm regretting not having killed the flying guy,
Yeah.
because he
He's
actually
not-
chases you. I didn't know he would do that.
He's a bounty
man.
hunter.
Yep, and here's the electric part. Oh, which is no fun at all. Yeah, and they planned a super graphics version, and the one screenshot released was a screenshot of this area. Actually, there
They-
might have been a screenshot of the first level too, I don't remember, but there definitely was a screenshot of this area.
There only ended up being like, what, 8 games for the Super Graphics, so.
Yeah, which is really a shame, because it was really good system, except it didn't have good sound hardware, but it could work with the CD player for the PC Engine, you know, so like there was a way to get better music if they supported it, which only like maybe one game did. God,
It was a bit of a 32X at the time, though. You know, it was very. You had to get all the extra stuff. You had to get the card or whatever it was.
For a super graphics, you didn't. You just needed a super graphics. It was like their potential Super Nintendo competitor, because they realized they couldn't compete with it on graphics.
But couldn't you also upgrade your Turbo Graphics?
Not to a super graphics, but you could upgrade it to a Turbo Duo by getting a memory card and a CD player add-on.
No, the Strider cover is not that bad. The Genesis Strider cover.
The
Oh,
American
it-
one? Eh.
Terrible.
Yeah, I don't care much for
And
it.
compared to some of the bad cover art,
I mean, it's not the
Fine.
worst of all time, but I mean,
It doesn't capture the flavor of the game at all, you know?
No,
Like-
not at all. This blonde white guy jumping with a sword.
Yeah, so not only do they take Kiryu out, but they, do, a really rude Americanization of him, I would call it. Oh,
that was par for the course, though.
it was, but it doesn't mean we should be happy about it.
Yeah. For sure the Mega Man was worse than that.
God, I don't remember this being so, like the. It could not have been this hard before, but I am playing the arcade version. I'm more used to the PC Engine and Genesis versions, it looks like. And the wolves and the lightning and everything, it's overwhelming.
What is a ZX Spectrum?
That is an
Yes.
old-fashioned computer that can only show like 2 or 3 colors on screen at once, so the games look kind of like ugly Game Boy, Super Game Boy games, you know what I mean?
Okay.
It was also European, like
Yeah.
not a lot of people in North America.
Fair enough.
That explains why. Because the first one, this one you're playing right now, got ported to it, and it just looks disgusting.
Yes. Like, virtually every game for the Spectrum looks horrible. It just wasn't made to handle graphics.
And the Commodore 64's graphics look pretty rough compared to some of the other systems it was put on.
Yeah, the 64 was kind of like, I don't know, you would say like a weaker NES, maybe? Or
Okay.
like, some of the things maybe were more complex than
Maybe
NES could
maybe a
do.
better 2600.
Yeah, well... okay, how about like a 7800? Can we
All right.
compromise?
Compromise there.
You look at how nice the arcade version, because they have the same screenshot from these 9 different versions of the game,
Yeah,
and the
I love
arcade
that.
version just looks
Ah.
wonderful and gorgeous. And then you look at like some of these other ones.
Yeah, I
Well,
reached the
that's it.
checkpoint. And that flying guy is still chasing me. I can't believe he actually follows you to different checkpoints and everything. Ow! And please say I continue at the checkpoint and not at the start of the level. Please.
So it's worth mentioning that this version of Strider came out in '98. It's the PS1 version, and up until then, you hadn't had a perfect arcade port, and this is pretty much. I mean, aside maybe for like some low times, this is pretty much a perfect port of Strider.
And
this is
the extra
first time-
options.
This is the first time you had it. Yeah, and they did give you a little bit of extra stuff, the extra sound and all that kind of stuff. So
So I hear that a lot of times. They say arcade perfect. Do you want to just explain what that means?
I mean, it's just an exact duplicate of what you'd be playing in the arcade. Like
Okay.
the Strider, the Genesis Strider, when you look at it, it looks pretty similar, and it does play pretty similar, but it's not the same. There are frames of animation missing. The sound effects are a little bit different,
Different resolution.
different resolution. So it's not you're not playing the arcade game. You're playing a port of it, a version of it. And so the Genesis version was up to a point was a very good version of Strider, and it's an important
Finally.
part of the Strider series of games because it did show that the Genesis could do very good arcade ports, but it's not perfect.
Yeah, it's still worth... the Chinese ladies came and got me. Man, I'm going to have to go through this super difficult checkpoint just to get to them. They're the boss. And it's super difficult. Did I mention that part?
Hey
As long
Monkey,
as you got
thanks for
all
checking
your
out the
quarters in
stream.
your pocket.
Yo, monkey. Yep.
It's
draining my
not
quarters right
it's
out.
not me anymore. EastX's internet came back on, so he is playing what was intended to be played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Original
I-
Strider, baby.
Yeah, I want to just say that I'm super excited to finally be playing a good game on the stream. And that- Strider. I like Dragon Eggs. It's it's cool that you can like make your lady's face, and I like Witcher is cool because there's prostitution and there's
Woo.
gambling.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just gotta play a video game, man. Sometimes you just gotta punch things and slash things and jump, and that's why this is so great. That's why Strider's so great. And look at that sword, man. Look at it. It's awesome.
Yeah, the sword is beautiful. Back then, it was so amazing.
It's called a
sound it
cipher,
makes?
not a sword.
Yeah.
Sound it makes. Oh, listen to Lore Man.
Yeah, his cipher, you're right.
This
And-
is like-
Yeah, and I believe it was Strider Returns, which is not considered canon anymore, but Strider Returns let you choose between the cipher and a different sword, didn't it? Seems like it did.
there were 2 characters, I think.
No, there weren't 2 characters.
Monkey says he has Strider 2 for PlayStation 1. Well, if you have Strider 2 for PlayStation 1, that means you also have Strider 1 for PlayStation 1.
Yep,
Right?
That's right.
it
That is
does.
correct.
And
Do you
the
have it on
discs were
disc?
mislabeled.
Monkey, or do you have it just digitally on PSN?
So I can tell you how to change the discs. I know that now.
Oh yeah.
Were all the discs mislabeled?
Yes, every single American version of it.
So like, do they just get it backwards? Like 2 is on 1 and 1 is on 2.
That's what they did, the dummies.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
did the article talk about how the Japanese version is a little bit better?
There's some sound effects and stuff in it.
Yeah, he says something when he swings his sword or something.
Like, yeah, they took out some voice samples. So the Japanese version has voice, and the American version doesn't have any voice, does it? I think it doesn't.
During the cutscenes, that the guy says, "I got you," and he also says, "You'll never leave Eurasia alive."
Oh, well, at least
Yeah.
they kept that. But yeah,
At the
they
beginning,
shouldn't have
you
even
know,
done
like
that. There was no
just
excuse
kind of
back
the
then.
just kind of the demo mode at the beginning of the game, you know, or whatever. What was that called? Attract mode. Is what it's called.
Which
in
game
arcade
is
games.
better, NES Strider or Arcade Strider?
Oh, come
No,
on.
arcade Strider.
Yeah. Adam isn't even that
NES
crazy
one.
about the NES one, but I have another friend who is. I invited him to
So,
the stream, and of course he
NES
didn't come.
The NES Strider has cool ideas, but the controls, and especially the jumping, which is a real bummer because the jumping is so cool in Strider. The jumping is really wonky. It's hard to get up places where you think you should be able to get up. You kind of get stuck on walls and stuff, and that, to me, that kind of kills that game.
Which game's harder?
I mean,
Well, if you know what to do in the NES version, you can beat it in less than 20 minutes, even though it's actually a longer game.
I mean, this is a difficult game too, for sure.
crap.
Strider is a difficult game. But we could talk a little bit about Strider
Ah.
Returns,
Sure.
because that is the black sheep of the Strider universe. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, do you know what I like about Strider Returns? It's something that you guys won't appreciate, but
Oh my God, is there boobs?
there is a nipple.
I knew it was.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Wow.
I gotta say, get this. For the people who, this is what I found funny. For the people that aren't into the whole Strider lore and stuff like that. So not only is there 2 Strider 1s, both just called Strider, there's also basically 2 Strider 2s. Is that right?
What? No.
I mean,
well,
okay,
if you count Strider Returns, but no.
Yeah.
In Europe, Strider Returns was called Strider 2.
Yeah, but nowhere else.
Roman numeral 2, by the way. So
Okay.
it's different.
So that was only a Europe thing, because that's how it has it labeled on that thing you sent to me.
Oh, curious.
It has it primarily labeled as Strider 2, then / Strider Returns.
In the US, it was Strider Returns.
Okay.
So it was a couple years after Strider on the Genesis. It was 92, I think.
Yeah.
And they licensed it out to US Gold, makers of crap, and they made a crap game. Strider 2 is awful, despite the nipple. It still remains awful.
Yeah,
Plays
but
crap.
it was so rare to see any form of nudity in games of that time. Super, super rare. So that's just what I got a kick out of. And you know, like, I think there should just be more nudity in things. So
I'm gonna
Oh.
post the Strider 2,
Maybe there
the,
should be
the
nudity.
real Strider 2 box.
But yeah, no, I'm not saying it was good because it wasn't. Like, they took the sprite from this and they recolored him white or silver, which actually looks pretty cool. But they did not take all the frames of animation, so they did a half-hearted job of it. And yeah, the level design wasn't even any good or anything, was it?
No,
As
and
I
it just
recall.
plays like
Ow.
floaty crap. Yeah, it's awful.
I think the Strider 2 box on PlayStation 1 is really good looking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
In stark contrast to the Strider 1 box on Genesis.
Yeah, at that point, Capcom was being run like more by the people of today. Although the Genesis one was published by Sega, wasn't it, in America? I mean, I think it was.
The Genesis one was made by Sega. Capcom
Completely?
didn't port their own games. Same with Ghouls and Ghosts.
Oh yeah, and Final
did
Fight.
Sega did the programming for those games. So it wasn't until later that Capcom started actually, porting their own games. They were just licensees early on.
Because they were such an arcade powerhouse.
They really
This part's
were.
hard.
They really were.
Yeah, it's hard for people who didn't play arcade games back then to understand. Woo! Finally beat that boss.
Yeah.
This
so-
part was neat back then. Oh god.
I mean, the real thing was the thing with arcade games back then. It's hard to understand now, is because when you went to an arcade, those games were so much better than what you had at home. Like at least graphically, like the way they looked, they were so much more impressive. So now people are used to having, the arcades now. Like if you go to the arcades, you're just dancing machines and stuff like that, and even actual arcade games. The home has already surpassed them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right about that, Adam. And Brian asked if anyone kickstarted the new Pebble. I'm not even familiar with Pebble, period. I would love to hear about it. This level is neat because it's so different. It doesn't really fit in aesthetically with the rest of the game in a way because, it's in this ancient civilization and there's dinosaurs, but it makes sense when you get far enough in, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a cool level.
The music.
So is
really
the
good.
nudity in Strider, was it called Strider Returns?
Yeah, Strider Returns.
Is that on the game over screen?
Yeah, you see, well, it was also in the intro, I think. The same
Okay.
picture, though, of the girl.
Okay. Should I post it?
Well, sure.
Okay. It's a YouTube video that's 50 seconds long and it's at the end. I wouldn't call this graphic by any means.
No, you see tamer things, and, well, for instance, in The Witcher, we saw a lot worse.
It's true.
Now we're fighting Amazons.
Huh?
Yeah. Well, it was
Better.
Yeah, you guys were like, oh, polygons, and I'm like, no, you're supposed to think of it as the characters. You don't think about how it's being brought to life. You just think of them as characters and buy into the world and the fiction. Whoop, and don't fall in the water and get eaten by the piranhas.
I never really do that. I'm not one to be immersed.
Yeah, it's good if you let it. Because that's what is so cool about The Witcher to me. Like, Geralt is a good character, and his world is a really good world. And not just because they look neat, but just they excite the imagination. And my first introduction to him was a PC game, but also, like, the first introduction to the world for him was the stories. And again, those come to life in your mind, and... I think neither one of you guys are big fiction readers, but if you were, like, when you're reading fiction, you don't read it and go, oh, those are just words, like, you just let the story come to life and let it affect you however the author intended.
It's different for me, though, because when I'm playing games, I've been playing, and I know I said I don't play RPGs anymore, but I started playing one, and I really only care about the story enough to get me from...
Point A to point B.
The one town where I can buy new weapons to the next town where I can buy new weapons. That's really all that that's kind of my goal.
Hey, Rencrest, welcome to the stream.
Rencrest is here. Who else is here? Anybody?
Good to see you, Rencrest.
Anybody I like?
Well,
you better like all of them.
We better beat at least the 20s.
I love it.
But aren't these dinosaurs great, though?
This is amazing. This guy's is awesome looking.
Oh, but he's so hard. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even know what to do to beat him in the actual arcade version. And the sad thing is, I used to play Strider so much that even this arcade version was fine to me, but those times have passed. Like, because, his dagger thing comes down and hits you, and his fireball is, like, everywhere when he shoots it.
I like how that dinosaur just explodes.
Yeah, he jumps down and the dinosaur gets rendered into... And it wasn't a robot dinosaur either, it was a real...
No, it's just a dinosaur. It just explodes. Bam!
Ah! But yeah, I imagine this boss would have worked a little bit differently in the Genesis version, huh? Do you remember?
No.
Because it couldn't have been a gigantic sprite. It would have been made up of smaller sprites is how they would fake it.
No, it
The
was
jumping
like
and everything, 100% the same?
I want to say it probably had less animation in the legs. Like, see how the legs are kind of moving like that?
Yeah, I got it.
It might just kind of jump up and down.
So with the arcade, if you put in enough quarters, you could beat the game, right? Like, it's infinite continues as long as you're still feeding the machine.
Yeah, you see me now, don't you? Like,
Every time he dies, that's another quarter from his pocket that he could be spending on bubblegum.
Yeah, so I'm up to like $3 now or something,
Yeah.
That's okay. It's worth it. It was a great experience. And they actually had this arcade game at my local Mr. Gaddy's.
And you had to. That's one of the things you had to consider when you brought a game home like Strider. You're like, this is saving me money because every time I go and play Strider, it costs me $5 or $6 to beat it. Of course, Strider was $80, so
yeah, you would have to replay it a lot, but you would have back then as a kid, definitely. So we're getting a lot farther in the game. Got my little helper robots again. The bad thing about the helper robots, the mechanics of them, is that you lose them if you get hit. So unless you already know what you're doing, you're going to lose them pretty quick. They might as well not even be there almost.
Rencrest says 0 is not a real word, but I dispute that.
Ah, I died. Okay, well, I'm just
So
getting warmed up.
I've got to say, I think the sprite, like, it's gotten progressively worse from game to game. Like, I like this sprite character more than the one in 2, which I like better than more than the one in the 2014 new version, which I actually don't like at all.
Dang.
I guess it's not really a sprite in the 2014 version; it's
Ah.
the actual, thing. But I like this design way better.
It's just they Japanesed him up a little bit is all. Like I don't think he's so different. So, well, I guess we'll see when we get to it.
Yeah.
Gotta keep falling in the holes.
Stop falling in the holes.
Dude, Strider, do you have is that actually an icon? Oh, there is. Wow, that's great.
Yeah, it's I think it has to do with that guy that he subscribes to be able to do that. But yeah, it's really cool looking. See, and I don't like that one. It covers too much of his face. I guess he has a mask on, right?
Yeah, because he's supposed to be a ninja.
Okay.
Hey, Northeast Monk is online. Northeast Monk should be here.
Yeah, Northeast Monk.
Come
God,
on,
and he
Northeast
likes
Monk.
games like this too a lot. Did I remember to tweet it to him? I mean, not tweet, but Steam message would have gotten him to come. Oh well.
Yeah, the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 sprite's cool for Strider.
I always liked it a lot. Yeah, but Tyler says it's too Japanese, so we have to.
It gets more Japanese, I think, as you go.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Or more, maybe not Japanese is the wrong word, but very like anime. It's very
Stylized. Yeah.
anime.
Well, I mean, but still, Japanese is a way to say that because it's. But yeah, just more and more stylized.
More
What?
stylized, yeah.
That robot flying around you sure is annoying looking.
Ah.
I kept thinking it was an enemy.
No, you can pick those up. They're your little friends, your little options.
The
Yeah.
robotic
Until you get hit.
character enemy designs are pretty cool.
Just all in all, it's got a nice design to it, and the look at the way you kind of you can just walk on the ceiling. Look how awesome that is.
Yeah.
I did that in Metal Storm way before this game.
Before this game, no.
No, it was after.
I'm sure it was. This was 1989.
Well, Metal
Metal
Storm was
Storm.
on NES.
Yeah, but probably in
Oh.
I don't know,
No,
maybe
no,
contemporary.
Metal Storm was the Super Nintendo game.
Oh,
No.
I don't know which one you're talking about. I mean, that's yeah, I don't know.
I thought it was.
Nah, it's on NES because I played it a lot.
Oh crap!
I believe you.
It's
Talk
reverse
about
gravity
talk
part.
about an ugly sprite.
I played a lot of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. No big
Here's
deal.
turn in Japanese.
I was wrong. Metal Storm was 1991.
And then you played Darkman. Did you play
I
Darkman?
didn't play Darkman. I had, that's the thing when you're young. You just play the games you get, and I got RoboCop and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Hey, I didn't die, but I'm
That's
probably
a good
gonna
point.
die.
Metal
This part is
Storm's-
too hard.
Metal Storm's the perfect example of a game I don't even know where it came from, but I got it somewhere somehow, and that's what I played over and over again.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Ren points out, by the way, that because your character is so large, you have a large hitbox. And that is a fair concern, but you didn't worry about it back then. You were just too busy being impressed by the graphical prowess.
Sure does look
I mean,
nice.
Bigger. I mean, that was the thing, man. The bigger the sprites, the bigger the deal was made by your game. Like if you had big
Oh, yeah.
sprites, you were awesome.
Yeah, because so much hardware couldn't even do it. Capcom had its own custom hardware, CPS-1, I believe this one was.
Oh, it must have been, yeah.
Yeah, and and Konami had its own, and like it was an arms race going on in the arcades between the various major arcade game developers. And it was cool. Very cool.
I have to share the European Amiga cover of Strider as well.
Well, that's a good idea.
Crap. Oh, is it unique? I'm glad you two got into the history aspect of this, because, this is what I imagined. It's a shame that, we had some technical difficulties, but at least we're getting to teach some people about it.
It wasn't really that bad. It was a half hour.
Yeah, it was only
Yeah,
half
so it was 30 minutes. It was really nice. I'm really happy we were able to, because I think this is way more enjoyable than 2014 Strider by me, because A, I don't have the background to talk about it. I can't get Adam in here to talk about it. And that's the one game you've actually already streamed before on this. So
Yeah, isn't
now we're
that
looking at a new game with the full team.
isn't that just a terrible shame that Adam can't join us in PlayStation parties?
Yeah.
Oh, Adam. What are we gonna do with you?
Dang that, Adam. Go buy a PS4, Adam. Now.
Oh, sure, I'll do that.
Xbox One first. Oh, but then that wouldn't
First I gotta
solve the problem.
First, I gotta get an Xbox One, I guess.
Yep. So he's got a lot to do. Big to-do list.
It's-
Oh,
Huge.
It's gonna take me like 30 tries to do this part. This part is hard even in the console versions, but it's still easier in the console versions. There's just less going on. There's too much going on.
So when you
I
play
want to
this,
say there. I
Go
want
ahead.
to say in the console versions there may not be those yellow soldiers, or at least there's less of them.
Is there just and can you believe I have the difficulty turned all the way down unless it has failed to remember that? You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if it did forget. But
titanium blade, a heart of steel. That's funny.
I mean,
Yeah, the Strider European Amiga cover, he's all gold. It's another white, European looking person, but he's completely gold.
He's all European.
well, at least he's
Very
all gold.
European.
We're gonna try just running through it really fast.
So when you play the arcade version, I assume it's just like a joystick and a couple buttons, right?
Yep, 2 buttons.
Jump and attack.
Yeah, and for this version, they've added a rapid fire button and a slide button.
Okay. Was it easier or harder to play like that? Because I know those sticks and buttons are good for like fighting games, but I assume a game like this is probably kind of tough.
Oh no, they're fine for platformers.
They're fine for it? Okay.
Yeah.
People are used to pads, but those they're very accurate. Those joysticks and everything. If you can get used to it.
Yeah, which back then you were because it was so common.
Back then you were because that's how you were playing games.
Yeah.
But it was very accurate.
This sure does look like a quarter eater part.
Oh, yeah, like
Oh, man.
in the actual arcade, I think I would just stop playing.
Paul's down $10 already, probably.
Yeah, it's not cool. I mean, there's nothing I can do about. I just can't see any way around all this.
Well, I mean, fighting games did that too, right? Like, I mean, there was like later bosses or later fights that were just
they
built to beat the crap out of you.
And you would
true.
have the possibility of getting too frustrated by them. Like that's a thing that happens even with people who like fighting games sometimes.
Well, they take practice. Some people get frustrated, and some people say this is a challenge that I'm going to complete.
Sure.
And
absolutely.
if you play this part enough, you can fly through it in 30 seconds. You know what I mean?
Lies.
It's just a matter of no, really, you can't. It's just a matter of practice. That's all.
My friend Adam is a liar.
I agree totally, because I
I-
I always bring up Spelunky, but I mean that's another game that requires practice. Difference is
Sure.
you don't have to pump in the quarters. That whole kind of era is gone, which is kind of nice. I mean it's not gone, but I mean are arcades still popular at all? I think you were
In
saying
Japan.
like dance games and stuff.
In Japan and China, there's a Left 4 Dead arcade game. There's a Call of Duty. Is there a Call of Duty? I can't remember. But there definitely is a Left 4 Dead one, which is so weird. And yeah, there's still like gun games. They get gun games still that just never get brought to home systems. Period.
Yeah, I mean, there's just arcades still. I mean, there's no arcades anymore.
Okay, I think I figured out a way around it. If I go down to the bottom part, then I have more of a chance, as long as I can kill those robots, which I should be using the rapid fire button for. I should have mapped rapid fire to the main attack button, but I didn't want to be too much of a cheater.
I didn't even know there was rapid fire.
It's nice. No, you could. Well, just playing was your practice, Ren.
Actually, I should have played a little bit before, but I didn't think of it.
So you could say how much better you were doing. That's what you're thinking, punk.
Well, no, I wasn't. Hey, listen. Do I sound like the kind of person who would brag or maybe put someone down about their playing abilities?
Yeah.
Oh, never.
Adam's not
No,
like that.
I don't think that ever happens. Heavens to Betsy, no.
Kira's right about that. We do need to go to E3.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't forget, we need business cards before we can even apply for that, Kira.
It's close to 500 classic arcade games. Yeah, I would love to go to a place
Wow.
like that place in Chicago. That would be awesome.
You're not that far from it.
Man, Primal Rage 2, that would have been so cool to play.
Chicago's not that far. In fact, I got a buddy that lives out there. So maybe someday.
Too bad they don't do gaming events there.
Yeah, we appreciate that, Kira. Just a reminder, Kira's doing a 25 or a 50% donation match of every $5 donations through the end of the week. So donations are always appreciated, and super appreciative of Kira to come up with that. This was all on her, all come up by her, and it's truly very appreciated.
Ah, okay, yeah, I think I do see a faster path through this that could avoid damage if it just goes perfectly.
You see, you're getting better. You see, you're getting
Chris
better.
says he's only finished a couple NES and Genesis games. That doesn't surprise me. He's not. He doesn't like hard games.
But what do I do once I get to this part? That's what I don't.
People take the easy way.
Adam, what do I do when I get to this?
You got to be. I like to be on the ground for that part and go one by one on those spikes that come up.
Am I trying to go down or up?
I would be down.
I mean, I actually am. The level path is down.
It's both. You can get there both ways.
If somehow I could go over the level, because there's just too many spikes down on the right. Yeah. Oh, can't wait for Witcher. Mindev, did you leave a comment on one of our articles? Because there was somebody who wanted to be in the stream yesterday but couldn't, I remember. Ah. Yes, the laser was I mean, this whole thing, it's just too much.
Trimmed you right off the top of your head. Trimmed your hair.
Last time I was in arcade. The last time I was in arcade, I got to play Crazy Taxi, the arcade version. That was awesome.
Yeah, I did play that in arcade.
I don't think I can go over, period, Adam. I just don't see a way to do that.
Well, I know that up is death.
Ow. Okay, but yeah, if I jump from the spikes that are coming out from the right, and if it actually goes right, then I can get down.
Yeah, you can get down. Yeah.
Get down.
Once you get into those spikes, I like to see.
Jungle Poge. Oh fudge! Oh fudge!
Oh, so you almost had it.
I hooked onto the ceiling. I did it. All right, now I gotta wait for that spike to retract.
Right.
Come on, spike. It's just not retracting. No, I think it is now. Maybe it's really long. It's the world's longest spike. Oh, hold on. No, I can't even. No. Oh, I can just crawl past it. What am I talking about? Please let that be a checkpoint. Oh man, another floating platform thing? Oh, please checkpoint. Okay, good, because if it wasn't, I was just going to have to give up.
I wanted to say, Royal Bob says, from fighting games to bosses that react to the player's input, and not just bosses. I was playing Ultimate Mortal Kombat a few weeks ago.
Oh, crap.
Just sitting alone by myself. It's very depressing. Playing Mortal Kombat, and every time you throw your spike out as Scorpion, smoke would disappear and dodge it. Every single time.
That's not cool.
Yeah, so there's some cheating going on, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, what exactly are you offering there, Kira? Because we don't want to bankrupt you or anything.
Yeah, we appreciate all the donations, but we definitely don't want you guys to, have to give up food or anything. Oh, okay, 100%. I had a feeling.
Yeah, because, I've put, if you count, buying the webcam and stuff, yes, I've put $100 or a few $100s into the stream, but I don't expect anyone else to.
Oh.
And there is nothing I can do to get past this part here. Adam, do you see it on the stream? Well, you're about to see it. Tell me what to do.
Okay. I don't know where you are yet.
Yeah, just right there. I'm just sitting there slashing. So what do I do?
With the robot?
Yeah, I got the two.
Can you go down?
I don't know.
Throw one of those samurais.
Go down.
Oh, I went down all right.
No, seriously, can't you go down?
Did you not just see? I just fell down and died.
Oh, yeah,
well, you're about to
I'm
see.
not there
Yeah,
yet.
it hasn't caught up. Yeah.
The flashing thing, I think, is just part of the design of the level, Kira.
What?
So one Super Nintendo game I really liked is called Run Saber.
Oh yeah, that was cool. Yeah. Wasn't that inspired by this?
Well, you could say
Was it
inspired,
actually
or
cool?
you could say
I never heard of it.
No, inspired.
So it was actually a good game.
It looked cool anyway. I never actually played it, but
Yeah, the history calls it a ripoff.
Yeah, I don't look at things that way unless it was trying to make you think it's Strider and it's not or something.
I don't either. I actually like when when a game. I mean, Gameloft had that reputation for a while. I don't think they do quite as much anymore. But with Modern Combat Domination or whatever, things like that, it's kind of clearly ripping off Battlefield and Call of Duty and stuff. But
they're rip-off. I mean, they're clearly trying to, clearly trying to get some success off another game's coattails. I mean, there's no Strider's very unique, like the way it moves, its weapon. It's a very unique game. So to see another game like Run Saber is.
Well, there was no Super Nintendo Strider, you know? And what else were you going to do if you wanted a Strider fix?
Well, you have to go to Atlas and make them make Run Saver.
So there is no way past this enemy that I can see with my current abilities. It's
I think
completely
I mean,
BS.
if you had the
I killed the flying enemy.
if you had the powered up weapon,
It wears off too fast.
why don't you just jump over him?
Why don't you jump over him?
Okay.
What about Cannon Dancer?
I never played that either. And the one I'm most familiar with, clone-wise, is Osmond. Although, well, now Moondiver.
Cannon Dancer is Osmond.
I think I was going
Oh,
to say
okay.
that. Yeah,
Sorry.
that's okay.
If you want to talk about that, I mean, Cannon Dancer was made by the same guy who directed Strider, so he definitely went and made another Strider. And it's the same with Moondiver. The same guy that did the Osmond game, he also directed Moondiver.
If I can
I
get there
enjoyed-
with one more hit.
Strider 2014 a whole lot more than Moondiver.
Well, Moondiver isn't great, but if you play with other people, it's fun. I mean, it is the
Yeah,
only
that's probably
multiplayer
true.
Strider that I know of.
Well, that is probably true, but I don't know that. I mean,
It's
I like-
four-player.
Yeah, the leveling up system in Moondiver is slow.
It is. Well, yeah, they made it too grindy, and achievement-wise, it's very hard, too hard, and stuff. But I don't know. I still, and if the levels are just playing too hard. But
Gotta get there.
still.
You gotta get there with your powered up saber sword thing.
So I can't use my rapid fire because it makes it actually wear down faster. I think it's limited by number of swings as opposed to time.
What's it called, Tyler? What's this sword called, Tyler?
Yeah.
The Cypher?
Woo, Cypher.
It's a Cypher.
Yeah.
Get it right, guys.
Isn't there a game with a character named Cypher Rage, or was that actually a bad movie I'm thinking of?
Cypher? Never heard of it.
God, is Cypher in like Final Fantasy?
Dang, I almost did. I got there and then I didn't play it smart. No, there's some movie. In fact, it might even. Is it that new Wachowski brothers movie? It's one of
It
those
might
things
just be
where
a
they're trying to be
character in a
cool
movie.
and they're being dumb. Yeah, like the character
An
is called
awful,
that.
terrible movie.
Yeah, like that Wachowski brothers movie.
Yeah.
Like everyone they've ever
Close.
made except for the first Matrix.
Close. It's very close to that movie, but I kind of want to make you figure it out now.
Ah.
Another extremely terrible director. It's
Oh.
definitely gone down over the years.
Uwe Boll.
The guy who directed Aliens, James Cameron. He's gotten
Nope.
worse over the years. Ridley
Yes, he
Scott.
has. Nope.
Fudge.
He had
Come on
had
now.
one big hit. It starred
Oh,
Bruce
no, he
Willis.
The guy who
And
directed Die Hard?
Nope.
Oh, M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh,
Yep.
Shamalama Ding Dong.
Yep.
Shamalama Ding Dong.
I didn't even know he directed this movie. The movie is.
Oh, After Earth. Yes. Okay, man, I was getting there.
Yeah, Will Smith's character is named Cypher Rage.
Just absolutely stupid. Oh no, look. I got a Tyrannosaurus Rex and the robot monkey. I made it past it and they're just like, by the way, we're about to rape you.
Paul
If you
is
had
very-
any money left in your pocket, give it to us.
I killed
Yeah.
the dinosaur. I killed the dinosaur. So he's
Paul is
not
very
that bad.
judgmental on like character names and.
Art styles.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm really not that picky about art styles. I mean, like, there's so many art styles that people won't give a chance that I will. It's more like I see things that I detect as artistically wrong usually, and I feel like people who knew about more about art might feel the same way, although not always. But you know, that's just how it is.
What do you mean Uwe Boll was never up? Have you not seen the House of the Dead movie?
I have. I got it
Yeah.
on DVD for some reason.
You want to talk about up? It's way up.
It's weird.
He puts scenes from the video game.
I know, what the heck? As transitions.
He transitions scenes by showing scenes from the video game.
I thought that was kind of neat in a way because I was like, I mean, I was the biggest House of the Dead 1 fan you would find, you know, I had the Saturn version and everything, and I had, I had houseofthedead.com, but I never did anything good with it.
You got houseofthedead.com?
Yeah, back then I did.
Oh my god, you should sell it.
Well,
Or
I
sell
mean,
it
not
as
even,
anything now.
because you only get it for 2 years is the thing.
Oh, man. Great.
Yeah, my goal was to turn it into a good fan site and then to eventually sell it to Sega if they wanted it, but no, it never came to anything.
I mean, you would have had to strike quick because after House of the Dead 2, that was it.
But there is a 3 and 4.
I know, but nobody cares.
Yeah,
What I'm saying
sure.
is, if they were going to buy a website from you, it was during House of the Dead 2.
Yeah.
I have House of the Dead, I think 3 or 4 on PlayStation. They're on PlayStation Network. They're no good, huh?
Well, no, not that they're no good. The only one I don't personally think is good is Overkill.
That's the newer one, right?
Yeah,
That
and
was
that's
on
the one that
Wii?
people actually like better, but I do
Yeah.
not at all.
It was a little bit overly crass. And
Yeah, it's like F-word the game, you know?
Yeah.
And not that I can't handle harsh language in things, but not when they're being used in that fashion, which is
Well,
just,
it's,
like,
yeah, it's
stupid.
crass for the sake of being crass,
Totally.
which doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah, because I can't hear people talking with really bad dialogue, and so, you know, like, I know people don't talk that way, and the writers should know that too, and so it just puts me off too much.
Yeah,
The problem-
Eldritch, I was singing that song the other day too. The Narwhal Sprint commercial
Yeah,
song.
why is everybody so into that right now?
It's just super catchy, I guess.
Ouch.
Stupid commercial.
Well, good thing on Saturday night we are going to be streaming Starwall, isn't it?
Yes, is that the night we were going for sure?
Yes, although they haven't said yes or no to prizes, but that's just when we're going to do it to
Cool. Sounds
meet
good.
our end of the agreement.
Sure. So yeah, I'll go ahead and talk about that real quick.
Cool.
That's for sure. So we have another game to stream, which is actually, Paul streams a lot of Vita games, but he got a code for a game called Starwall, which is actually on the PS3 and the PS4. And it is, is it kind of like an physics arena battler type game? There is a lot of single player content, or at least a decent amount as far as I know.
Yes.
But it's kind of a goofy game. You'll definitely get a few laughs out of it. But we're going to go ahead and stream that Saturday after the Game Loft Asphalt 8 stream.
Yeah.
We'll just kind of move right over into that game and transition. And I don't know, are you going to try and join through the party chat on the Vita TV, Paul?
Well, I could. The only thing is I've got India that night, so I don't know if I should just... I mean, but I hate to not be around, so we'll
Sure.
have to figure it out.
We'll see. Yeah, we can always play it by ear.
Can I hit this guy from behind? Probably not.
I think
No,
gotta
you have to hit his head. And there's those dumb fire things he shoots.
So Adam was going on and on about a mammoth, but I don't know how he passed up the chance to talk about a giant, a robotic gorilla and a Tyrannosaurus Rex at the same time.
Who is that? Who is that?
You might think that a giant robot gorilla
Fatality!
is a big deal, but I happen to love the mammoth.
The mammoth was a good follow-up. You know, like, I mean, they said we've already done the monkey, what do we do next? And they picked the mammoth, and that was really cool. Thank you
thanks,
very much
Fatality.
for the
Appreciate it.
donation. Yes.
Fatality's a cat from the PSN thread too.
Woo!
Really appreciate that, man.
Always very good to
Nice
see
guy.
more CAGs here. Yeah.
I'll even say go Kentucky just this one time. Go Kentucky. But that's it. That's all you're getting out of me. But thank you.
It's a stand-up guy, that Fatality. I hear he's good at video games.
He likes to finish them off.
A Thrash Metal 2754-5.
Oh, hey, welcome to the thread. By the way, you guys, if you haven't already, please subscribe. Or follow.
Oh yeah, and Kira's gonna match. I appreciate that, Kira.
Yes.
She's gonna match 100% of that. So thank you, Kira.
Wow. Oh, yeah. She did say she would do that tonight, didn't she? Just to get things going. Kira really believes in the stream, and we're grateful to that.
Yeah, we love Kira.
Eldridge is booing Tyler, and well, he should.
Yeah.
For one
Hey.
reason or another.
I am not above selling out.
Adam, I could use some advice gameplay-wise, because I don't think I'll be beating this on my own.
You're just about doing it. I mean, it's hard to give me. You mean you've already beaten that?
Half the
You've
time
already-
he just punches me.
Yeah, you've already beaten the giant dinosaur once, so you got to do it again. That's all.
Oh, I wish. The robot dinosaur.
Yeah.
Ah. Anybody ever hear that song from MC Chris called Robot Dog?
No.
Do you know who MC Chris is? He's the voice of Hesh from C-Lab, and he was in Aqua Teen as a few different characters.
Oh yeah.
MCP Pants.
MCP Pants. Yeah.
Yeah, so imagine, I mean, he's a real rap artist and travels and everything, you know, and like, it's a love it or hate it thing with his voice.
Yeah. I could tell just from Aquatine Hunger Force it would be a hate it thing for me. Although
Yeah.
they continually repeat the same single verse, so it's way more grating than maybe it would.
Yeah, no, he has some interesting songs, and some of them use humor and some don't. And yeah, I have one of his albums. One of my exes was really into him, and she had seen him perform and everything. But he has a song called Robot Dog, and yeah, I don't even know what the heck it's about. I mean, he says Robot Dog a lot.
But dog.
Robot Dog.
Robot Dog.
And he has at least one about video games. I can't remember if it's Zelda or what game it is.
Now, if I recall, I think if you have the powered up cipher, you can hit that dinosaur from behind.
We'll try, but I don't think you're right.
I think I might be.
You always think that.
Huh?
Even
No,
when you're wrong,
usually-
you think you're right.
No. Usually I know that I'm right. But right now, at this very moment, I actually just think that I'm right.
Oh, important distinction, huh? Alright, well, oh crap. He appears wherever you are, so he appeared all the way on the right edge. If there was a way to get him to fall off the edge, that would be nice.
But this game, you have to get a little bit good at it, because even if you just keep putting quarters in, it will checkpoint.
You can be stuck in.
You still have to get past. You still have to get past.
checkpoints. Yep.
Right. You still have to get between checkpoints. I'm sorry, Kira. I didn't mean to say the M word so loud.
Were you guys talking about putting the bird to bed?
Yeah, we were making fun of you.
What? Because I put the bird to bed?
We had the good innuendo, the bird to bed, and then right before you walk away, you mentioned that it's self-pleasure. It's like, yeah, we got that already. Thank you for slamming us over the head with it. Not literally. I don't even need to say that.
Talk about self-pleasure.
Anyways, Eldritch is gone, but I wanted to talk to him about his bird. I imagine having a bird would be terrible.
Dude, the bird is the word.
Yeah,
No.
that's true. He speaks the truth. The bird is the word.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like Modern Family Guy, but I do like the bird is the word episode.
Yeah, that's
You are-
basically the only thing I know about
You're
it.
doing
And I
it
would,
correct. No, sorry. I don't want to interrupt, but I'm watching East play, and I'm saying you're doing correct. You just want to get a couple slashes in, and then retreat, and then a couple more. He actually doesn't take a lot to kill him.
and I have to
Feels
agree
like
with
a
you that I don't like Modern Family Guy at all, but that bird is the word one is pretty, funny, catchy, that he just keeps going with it.
Yeah, every now and then they put aside their hatred of humanity and just, like, turn out a decent episode. But, I don't know, it must be some kind of quota.
Yeah. My biggest issue with it is the same thing we were just talking about with House of the Dead Overkill, that, I mean, a lot of times they go for, like, crass or dirty jokes just for the sake of it, without working it
Yes.
into an actual joke. Just having something over the top, vulgar and awful, as if that's, is a
Yeah.
worthwhile replacement of an actual joke.
I mean, so
That's
Overkill
exactly
was going for the grindhouse.
It was going for, like, the campy, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
but
going for the grindhouse feel, but the difference is that, those movies have writers, and these games are just made by people who make video games. You know what I mean?
yeah, who
Like,
imagine themselves to be writers.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
I don't know.
so you're gonna say you didn't like the Tarantino Rodriguez Grindhouse double feature?
I hate Planet Terror. Planet Terror is
Oh.
so... I can't even stand it. It's just
And
nothing
I'll
but
go ahead.
gross and barely funny.
Death Proof was awful.
I didn't
I
see
like-
Death Proof.
See, I really like Death Proof.
Oh my god, just talking and dialogue, and
What is
Tarantino
it?
is absolutely
There's like a what do you mean dial? There's a huge car chase. By the
car
way,
chases are the most overplayed action sequence there is.
Oh,
yeah,
well,
but
it is.
not
but-
anymore, because there's no car chases anymore. It's all CG and fake. But that was a real car chase.
True.
Like old school 1970s movie car chase. It was awesome.
I like
And
Planet
that-
Terror.
And that blonde girl in that movie, well, she was a stunt woman, so she did all her stunts as well.
That part's cool too. But yeah, Planet Terror, like, see, I can watch a zombie movie, but the zombie things in Planet Terror, they're actually just disgusting. Like, they gross me out and make me not want to look at the screen. Like, not in
Aw.
a good way, you know what I'm saying? Like, just, that's not how you... There has to be visual appeal, and the movie puts me off visually from frame one. Also, Robert Rodriguez can scarcely stand him. He is a horrible director. Yay, I killed it! Woo!
He's not my favorite at all.
What? There's another? Oh, now I gotta ride but I have to just ride him around, right? And You remember this in Strider 2014? This is one of the first bosses. They brought him back in a different way, but really cool that they brought that back. What's he called in 2014? Serpentrion or something? I can't remember.
Sure.
Serpentor. No, not Serpentor.
Oh, that.
Ah, no, don't fall off. Woo! I thought I fell off, but I guess I landed on something beneath.
I love that he's like a Russian millipede.
Finest kind. Yeah, the Russian sci-fi imagery.
Did you beat the game?
Yeah.
No, I didn't beat the game, but I mean, I beat that part. Am I actually supposed to kill him now? It looks like I am. And I'm just riding him around, hoping it's going to take me somewhere.
Actually, I
Die.
don't remember this part.
Dang it.
Can you hurt him?
Yeah, you can. And I... Oh, no. 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 Oh, good. I just have to ride him. I don't have to do all the
Yeah,
bosses.
I'm pretty sure you don't have to hurt him. I think you have to ride him because you can't get to these platforms without him.
No, but when I got to the platforms. Didn't you see me? I was at them.
I hate spiders.
And he was just going around in a circle over and over.
Oh, maybe you're at the end then.
Everyone hates spiders. Yeah, and I mean, like, in Planetara's defense, it has a few jokes that actually work as jokes, you know? Like, so, like, there were a few moments where I wasn't completely disgusted and hating it, but so much of it I hated, and all the fake backgrounds and everything that, Robert Rodriguez, he's just horrible. Except for Predators and the first Sin City, I can't stand anything he's ever done.
I'm looking his list up now.
Well, I'll give you a hint. They're all Spy Kids movies. And I cannot stand those.
He did those Machete movies. I don't know. I never saw those.
Well,
Not a huge fan of that main character guy.
Yeah, well, I saw the first one, and on the one hand, it appeals to me because it has a lot of nudity. And I think, again, I appreciate it when things are willing to do that because so few things are. But on the other hand, it's still a movie directed by him, and the writing is horrible and all that stuff.
You know what movie I like from him, and it's probably just a fan service movie. Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Oh, I haven't actually seen that, but it is regarded as one of his better movies. So
I enjoy it. I mean, lots of big name stars in it and stuff.
And Machete came from that double feature I was talking about.
Yeah. All right, I
did
killed the
it?
guy.
Yeah,
I made
it was
to the
one of the.
platforms.
If you went to the theaters or if you get the full
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you get
Double feature?
the little previews in between
right,
the two
fake
movies.
movie trailers, and one of them was for Machete.
That's right. I do remember that actually.
But I am kind of waiting for Thanksgiving because that's my favorite.
Oh,
I don't
that's my
remember
favorite.
what that one was.
Yeah, you
nice
should
Bob.
check it. It's pretty great.
So I met the boss of the game now. He is the Grandmaster, and he is likely to kill me many times.
His name is Mayo or Mayo or something like that.
I mean, Mayo, I don't know how you say it, yeah.
Yeah.
But probably Mayo, based on Japanese pronunciation rules. Oh, and he even
Probably.
summons wolves.
Yeah, wolves.
Flying wolves? Yeah, lizards are scary. I don't like reptiles. They can get lost.
Oh man, I had a pet lizard, and he was sweet. He would just sit on us and be nice and calm and happy. Just a little one, I really liked him, but then he died. He got sick.
My brother had one, but he was not nice at all. Like, he's mean. He'd bite and whip with his tail.
Dang. Yeah, ours was not like that. He was very docile and friendly. Oh, and he even spawns piranhas. Space piranhas.
I went over to a girl's house once, and she had like a little terrarium with a turtle in it, and I said, but then I looked at it, and it was just the shell.
What?
Yeah, and I said, "What happened to your turtle?" And she says, "Oh yeah, I forgot to feed it."
Oh.
So it just died and disintegrated. And now
That's
it's just a
disgusting.
shell.
Wow,
Terrarium.
sounds like a great lady.
Yeah.
I dated her for like a year.
Well, I hope you got lots of action out of it. Hey, I did it! I beat the game! Woo!
Woo!
Yes!
Paul is on fire tonight.
Look at that ending!
And Adam has no morals. We found
I
out.
have no
Yeah.
morals. I'll date anyone, don't matter.
Well,
Oh yeah, it was an iguana. I take that back. It wasn't a lizard. It was an iguana that my brother had that was mean.
ours was a dragon lizard or something. The word dragon was in the name. Not a Komodo dragon, obviously. It was like a 3-inch lizard. But
Redcrest is calling you out, Adam. He doesn't believe you actually went to a female woman's house.
Adam is totally a ladies' man. Look at
Hey, man,
Strider. He's riding on a whale.
That is totally okay. Everyone's entitled to their opinion.
T. Marucci has a little sprite next to his name. He must have
S
been-
thing heart.
Yeah, this was still during the time period when they wouldn't put their full names because there was some kind of weird Japanese fear of headhunting talent, so they all had to use nicknames.
Super weird.
Yes.
Yeah, it's weird. I've beat games like that with some weird things. I was wondering what that was all about.
Look at this ending. You're just riding a whale.
Pretty cool.
You're like, I'm out. I'm taking this whale and I'm
Do
going
you
home.
think it's a robotic whale or a regular
No, it's
whale?
just a whale.
And do you know the PC Engine version? It had completely different cinemas. I mean, cinemas that were inspired by this, but they were much better.
Well, that was on CD, right?
Yeah, so fully voiced with Japanese voices, no
Right.
subtitles or anything.
Put your name in. Put your name in.
Yeah, someday I'd like to show that version to you guys. Maybe I'll download it. I mean, I own the real version of it, but it'd be a pain to get it out and rip it. Woo, that was fun.